Chelsea defender Ian Maatsen is likely to be the subject of interest in the January transfer window. That is according to journalist Dean Jones. Chelsea recently extended Ian Maatsen's contract by a year, but Jones has told Give Me Sport that he still thinks clubs will inquire about signing him when the market opens again. Maatsen may give serious thought to leaving Stamford Bridge in January, as he has barely played this season. The 21-year-old is yet to start a game in the Premier League. Jones does not think Maatsen will be off the market in the new year just because his contract has been extended. Speaking to Give Me Sport, he said, "News on Ian Maatsen extending his deal at Chelsea does not necessarily mean that he is not attainable, and I think we will still see clubs coming to check on the situation in January." Maatsen's contract was set to expire at the end of the season, but the Evening Standard reported last week that Chelsea have activated a one-year option in his deal. Another report from the Evening Standard in September claimed that Burnley had agreed a loan deal with Chelsea for Maatsen that would have seen the Clarets sign him for £31.5 million at a later date. Chelsea need Arsenal goalkeeper Aaron Ramsdale to push for a move if they want to sign him in January. That is according to Ben Jacobs. In his column for C. Phillips Talks Chelsea, the journalist claimed that Chelsea are keeping an eye on Aaron Ramsdale's situation at Arsenal, but it is going to be tough to land him in January. If the Blues are to have any chance of signing the 25-year-old, Jacobs says he will need to push for a move. Ramsdale's future at the Emirates has been thrown into doubt after the Englishman lost his spot in the team to David Raya. Arsenal signed Ramsdale from Sheffield United in a deal worth around £30 million back in 2021, as reported by Sky Sports. While Chelsea may have an interest in Ramsdale, as Jacobs has reported on C. Phillips Talks Chelsea, it would be a bit of a surprise if they signed him in January. The journalist has stated that it is not going to be easy to get the England international out of the Emirates, while Chelsea recently bought a new number 1, Robert Sanchez. The Spaniard was at fault for Arsenal's first goal when the Gunners drew 2-2 with Chelsea last Saturday and has been heavily criticized for his error. However, Sanchez has been good for Mauricio Pochettino's side overall since joining from Brighton and Hove Albion during the summer. In total, the Spain international has still managed to keep 3 clean sheets in the Premier League this season. Only 3 goalkeepers have recorded more than him. With all of that in mind, then, we think Sanchez should be given at least one whole campaign at Stamford Bridge before Chelsea consider bringing in a new shot stopper. If he fails to deliver, then it makes sense for Ramsdale to become an option for the Blues. Chelsea remain interested in Borussia Dortmund youngster Youssoufa Moukoko. That is according to journalist Simon Phillips. While Phillips has stated on his Substack that Youssoufa Moukoko does not fit the profile of striker Mauricio Pochettino is looking for, he has claimed that the 18-year-old is still being targeted by the Blues. He is not the only center-forward Chelsea seem to be interested in, though. The Blues have also been heavily linked with Victor Osimhen as his contract saga with Napoli rumbles on. Moukoko is a young forward who obviously has a lot of talent. Last season, he scored 7 goals in 26 Bundesliga appearances, which is quite impressive for someone his age. However, Chelsea do not need another raw striker and require someone who is way more prolific, like Osimhen, for example. Nicholas Jackson and Armando Broja are a few years older than Moukoko but are still quite young at 22. Considering that, we do not think Chelsea need to concentrate on bringing in another young number 9 with potential. In the 2022-23 season, Osimhen scored 26 goals in 32 Serie A appearances. It helped Napoli to win the league title. That is what Pochettino needs, not another improving center-forward. Will he get that? January could be difficult. It is hard to imagine Napoli selling one of their key players in the middle of the season, especially for a reasonable fee. The Blues, then, may have to wait until next summer to sign Osimhen. It means Chelsea may not have enough firepower to qualify for the Champions League, though they have looked better in front of goal in their last few games. If Pochettino's men can keep it up, maybe they will be able to reach their objectives this season without going crazy in the January transfer window. Chelsea will make a £62 million loss on goalkeeper Kepa Arrizabalaga if Real Madrid get their way. According to Defensa Central, Real Madrid could offer Chelsea just €10 million, which is around £9 million, to sign Kepa Arrizabalaga permanently. The Spaniard is currently at Carlo Ancelotti's side on loan, arriving after Thibaut Courtois' serious injury. Chelsea paid Athletic Bilbao £71 million to sign Kepa back in 2018 after Courtois left the club to join Real Madrid, as reported by BBC Sport. Chelsea's goalkeeper situation could really come back into the spotlight after Robert Sanchez's mistake over the weekend. The 25-year-old was at fault for Arsenal's first goal in the 2-2 draw at Stamford Bridge, kicking the ball straight to Declan Rice before the England midfielder curled it into his net. All things considered, it is not completely far-fetched to hear Defensa Central claim that Real Madrid may offer Chelsea just £9 million for Kepa. While the Blues obviously spent way more than that when they bought him from Athletic Bilbao, Real Madrid, no Mauricio Pochettino, does not need the Spain international. Chelsea have a new number one in Sanchez, who is aiming to win the Premier League Golden Glove Award at the end of the season, making Kepa redundant. It makes sense, then, for Real Madrid to try and lowball Chelsea, who probably need to cut their losses now. Kepa has not been a success during his time in West London and clearly does not want to be at Stamford Bridge, hence his decision to join Ancelotti's team in the summer. They could end up losing so much money if they do sell Kepa in the new year, but now seems like a good time to let their shot-stopper go after replacing him with his compatriot. Mauricio Pochettino after a touchline accident during Saturday's 2-2 draw against Arsenal. The Blues had to settle for a point on the weekend after an action-packed home draw versus Arsenal in the Premier League. Cole Palmer, 21, seriously impressed with his individual performance. Gary Neville even said Palmer was wonderful against Arsenal, as quoted by Sky Sports' main event channel, 6:01 p.m., October 21st. The £40 million Chelsea attacker, Sky Sports, has since explained that he said sorry to his manager, though. Palmer shared that he accidentally launched a drink bottle that hit Mauricio Pochettino when Arsenal scored their equalizing goal at the weekend. Palmer said via Chelsea's official website, "When they scored their second goal, I was getting a drink. I went to throw the bottle away, as you do, but didn't look. I just saw it loop dead slow and hit the gaffer. I said sorry to him and apologized properly after the game. Hopefully he won't drop me for that. We get on well. I try to show him every day in training what I can do. Work hard and just try to repay him because he puts a lot of faith in us. Maybe an extra lap around the pitch at training is enough punishment for Chelsea's new favorite attacker." Palmer's impact during his first 2 months as a Chelsea player is super impressive. Most people were a bit skeptical about his big-money arrival from Manchester City in the summer, but he's already added an extra spark into the Blues' attack. We've seen the England under-21 international impress already as a wide or central attacker. Ultimately, he's an individual you want on the ball as much as possible in the final third of the pitch. His position in the starting lineup looked pretty nailed on right now, scoring in back-to-back league matches now from the penalty spot. We're pretty sure the best is yet to come from this young talent. The fact that Chelsea have now scored 8 goals in their previous 3 league games suggests that the forward line is finally starting to gel together. There's no doubt Palmer is central to the success right now.